Now, you feel me? I've been seeing this argument around for a minute now, and I can confidently say that it is one of the most stupidest arguments I've ever seen in my life. So, you feel me? I was going around a little bit looking at, sparkingzero and Dragon Ball Fighter Z and all these things on Twitter or whatever, and I'm seeing people saying that, oh, Fighter Z is, sparkingzero is more harder than Fighter Z, or sparkingzero is better than Fighter Z, and all these type of stupid arguments going on. And you feel me? I just wanted to get on here today and, give my thoughts and feelings on this argument, because like I said, I think it's pretty dumb. Now, first of all, when you look at Fighter Z and sparkingzero's gameplay, you got to understand, first of all, that they are completely two different games. Like, they are two different games completely. How they play, the way they function, they are two different games. So first of all, I don't know how people are coming up with this assumption that, sparkingzero is, because remember, when sparkingzero first came out, the gameplay was literally just like, use a broken fusion character or a broken character in general, spam abilities that got you up to max key charge or like maximum key, and then spam ultimates. Because you guys saw, for example, like the Kefla players, for example, they loved doing that when the game first came out, when there was like no patches or anything like that. The Kefla players, they did that the most, and you feel me, that's literally what the game was before they finally put patches and nerfs and all that. But you feel me, Fighter Z, you feel me, you actually have to know what you're doing to win. In sparkingzero's PvP, I've seen, you feel me, people doing the most stupidest shit imaginable and pulling off wins because of how dumb and easy the game allows it to happen. And like I said, both games, they do have their different aspects of PvP, but there is no way people are sitting here and telling me that, sparkingzero's PvP is harder than Fighter Z. Again, with Fighter Z, you got to know how to use your characters on your team and know what buttons to press, what follow-ups to do, and all of that to pull off successful combos and shit. In sparkingzero, you just press shit and win, plain and simple. The PvP in sparkingzero is so dumb that people literally quit the game. Aside from like no content and stuff in the game, people quit the game because the PvP was bad. Like, once you got to Z rank and all that, there was nothing else to do and the game was ass. So again, I don't know where people are coming up with this from. Now, one thing I will give sparkingzero over Fighter Z is the roster for sure, because obviously, both games has characters from Super and GT and all that stuff. But you feel me, the only thing that I do put over Fighter Z for sparkingzero is the fact that they put more of the better characters due to unlocking. So like, for example, if I want to Gogeta Blue or something, I just buy them from the shop, or play the game and you get them. Like Fighter Z, the only issue with that game that I had, and a lot of people had too, was that to really stand a chance in PvP, you had to buy most of the characters from DLCs and stuff like that, and most of those characters they had to buy, you feel me, was the more broken ones, like Super Saiyan Vegito, Gogeta Blue, Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta, Merge Zamasu, characters like that, you feel me, who were broken or top tier. They were mostly DLC characters, and I feel like that was the one big flaw with that game. Compared to sparkingzero, there is DLC characters too, but most of the good characters, they gave you them off the rip, or you had to buy them from the shop with Zenny or something like that. So that's the only thing I will give sparkingzero over Fighter Z. But if we're talking like better game overall and all that stuff, it definitely goes to Fighter Z. Like I said, sparkingzero felt way too overhyped, and again, rightfully so, because at first the game did seem promising, but what happened? The months went by, time went by, the game got fumbled, and people just didn't fuck with it. But Fighter Z, came out in 2018, and even now this game still holds up well to this day because of the updates and stuff. But overall, the game was just fun. It was one of the best free fighting games we had in a minute, and the fact that it was Dragon Ball made it even more fun. And like I said, if you look at evil clips and all that stuff from Fighter Z tournaments and everything, you will see the impact that this game had on the FGC compared to sparkingzero. Because sparkingzero, I don't even think, you know, sparkingzero was in any EVO tournaments or anything like that. And again, that goes to show you how stupid this game was, because it didn't even really feel competitive. Like I said, you just used broken shit, or you just used broken mechanics in that game, and you literally won matches, plain and simple. The PvP in sparkingzero is just straight up garbage. I ain't gonna hold you. Like I said, with FighterZ, you know, you have to know what you're doing, and you have to know the characters to stand a chance in ranked. But in sparkingzero, you just use broken shit and win. So again, I don't know where this is coming from. I'm seeing people in on Twitter saying, oh, you know, sparkingzero takes more skill, or some people don't know, you know, what sparkingzero's combat and all that stuff is compared to FighterZ, or it's more easier than FighterZ. And I'm looking at these niggas like, bro, are we looking at the same games? Because like I said, you feel me, people, when PvP came on for sparkingzero for the first time, and like I mentioned earlier with the fusion characters and shit, people were bitching so much that they had to nerf those characters because it was so busted. And then there was still other characters going crazy like Z Broly, Super Broly, Jiren, and all these other characters too that they had to nerf because, you feel me, they all had cheesy and broken mechanics. Again, with FighterZ, you just do combos, know your characters on your team, and you win, plain and simple. I mean, from now what I've been seeing with the recent update, you feel me, it's still better, but there is definitely some things they have to, you know, balance out. I made a video about that a couple of days ago. You guys can check that out. But, you know, I will take FighterZ PvP right now at this current moment over sparkingzero's PvP because it's bad. And overall with, you know, FighterZ, the story mode was way better. PvP was way better. The whole game was better. And like I said, sparkingzero to this day just feels like a work in progress cash grab game from Bandai. So yeah, I don't know what drugs these people are smoking who are saying sparkingzero is better than FighterZ, or even making this dumb argument in the first place, but yeah, they gotta lay off it. So yeah, overall, like I said, this is a dumb argument in my opinion. Both games have their own flaws and, you know, good things about them, and both games play way differently. I don't know why people are acting like one game is better than the other, or this game is harder than this game. They both play differently. They both have their strengths and weaknesses, and, you know, I'm gonna leave it at that. But overall, FighterZ is way better, more challenging, and overall just way more advanced than sparkingzero. I don't know, again, what drugs these people are on to even say that that's not true, but they gotta lay off it. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this a dumb argument? Or, you know, if you want to get into this argument, let me know in the comments which game, you know, you guys think is better, which game is harder, which PvP in the games is better, all that good stuff. Drop your thoughts down below. Let me know. As you guys know, you know, I'm always reading and checking out comments and everything like that. So drop your thoughts down below. Let me know. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, turn on those notifications, share the video around, you feel me? And, you know, if you like the content, again, hit that sub button. A lot of you guys are not subscribed. So if you guys do enjoy the content and want more amazing content like this one, again, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, share the video around and all that good stuff. And drop your thoughts down below and let me know. And yeah, I'm NeonV2. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy and peace out. I'm out of here.